All right, you know the drill. You've spent hours, maybe even days, planning that perfect vacation. You're finally ready to hit confirm, your mouse is hovering over the button, and then, bam, the pop-up. You know the one. Protect your trip for just $49. Covers cancellations, lost bags, and more. It sounds so tempting, right? So urgent. But let's be real. It also makes you stop and think. Is this a smart move? Or is it just another junk fee, designed to play on our travel anxiety? It's a huge question, and honestly, the answer's kind of complicated. So here's the truth we're going to break down today. Most of it, yeah, it's fluff, it's marketing noise, but, and this is a big but, buried inside all that are two specific parts that could literally save you from bankruptcy. So we're going to cut through all that noise and focus only on what actually matters. Okay, let's dive into the absolute 100% non-negotiable part. I like to call this your bankruptcy protector, medical and evacuation coverage. Seriously, if you remember just one thing from all this, please make it this part. So many of us, and I get it, we make this really dangerous assumption. We think our regular health insurance card works just fine overseas, but the hard truth, it almost never does. Most plans you have back home, and listen up, this is super important for seniors, this includes Medicare. They give you pretty much zero coverage the second your plane leaves the country. So here's your first magic number, $50,000. That's the minimum you should be looking for in emergency medical coverage. This is the money that pays the actual hospital bill if you, say, break a leg in Italy or get a nasty stomach bug in Thailand. And look, 50 grand sounds like a lot, I know, but wait till you see the next number. It's a whole different level. There it is, $100,000, or even more. We're not talking about paying for stitches here. We are talking about the cost of a private, specialized medical jet to get you from wherever you are back home. This, right here, is the real financial nightmare. This is the reason you buy the insurance. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The CDC itself says this is no exaggeration. A six-figure bill for an evacuation, it's a very real possibility. And let's be crystal clear about something. The government, the State Department, they are not going to foot this bill for you. This is why this coverage isn't some luxury add-on. It's essential. It's what stands between you and potentially life-altering debt. Okay, so we've covered the big, scary stuff, protecting your health and your life savings. Now let's talk about protecting your wallet. Specifically, the money you've already sunk into the trip itself. We're talking about getting those non-refundable deposits back. All right, you have to get this one term down. It's called a covered reason. And this is so important. Your standard trip insurance is not a I changed my mind policy. It doesn't work that way. It only kicks in for very specific, unforeseen things that are spelled out in the policy's fine print. Stuff like you get sick, there's a death in the family, or you get called for jury duty. And this is where that little detail becomes a huge deal. See, a standard policy, it'll pay you back 100% if you have to cancel for a covered reason, like a medical emergency. But what if you just don't feel like going anymore? You get zero, nothing. If you want that kind of flexibility, you have to upgrade it to what's called cancel for any reason, or CFAR. Now, it's going to cost you more, usually about 40 to 50% more, and it typically only pays back about 50 to 75% of your trip cost. But it's the only way to get your money back if you just decide not to. Okay, let's get to the fun part, saving you some cash. We're going to talk about all the stuff you can probably skip. Why? Because you either don't need it, or even better, you might already have coverage and not even know it. So before you click buy on any policy, I want you to do this quick 3-step check. Step 1, check your credit cards, especially the fancy ones. A lot of them have travel insurance built right in. Step 2, take a look at your home or renter's insurance. A lot of times, that covers your stuff if it gets stolen, even when you're on vacation. And step 3, just give your health insurance company a quick call. It's rare, but you might have a plan that covers emergencies abroad. It's worth a 2-minute phone call. Okay, let's talk about the number one upsell they always try to get you with: lost luggage insurance. Insurance companies love selling this, but here's a little secret. You probably don't need it. Why? Because the airline is already on the hook. Yep, you heard that right. The Department of Transportation says that on flights inside the U.S., airlines have to cover you for up to $3,800 if they lose your bag. For international flights, it's about $1,700. So unless you're packing priceless family heirlooms, which, let's be honest, you probably shouldn't be checking anyway, that's more than enough to replace your clothes and toiletries. And here are 2 more pieces of fluff you can almost always say no thanks to. First, accidental death and dismemberment, or AD&D. If you have life insurance, this is probably just redundant. And the second one, flight crash insurance? Come on, that's just a fear tax. Flying is ridiculously safe. Seriously, you have a better chance of getting into an accident in the cab on the way to the airport.
Okay, listen up because this part is critical. Buying a policy is just step one. Now we need to make sure you don't accidentally do something that lets the insurance company wiggle out of paying your claim. Yeah, it happens.
This is probably the biggest trap out there, the look-back period. Here's how it works. Let's say you went to the doctor for a heart condition 6 months ago. Then you buy your insurance policy today. If you have a problem related to that condition on your trip, they can say it was pre-existing and refuse to cover it. The only way around this is to buy a policy that has a pre-existing condition waiver. And the catch is, you usually have to buy that waiver within a week or two of making your first trip payment. So you have to be fast.
And please watch out for these two massive exclusions. They get people all the time. First, anything related to alcohol. If you get hurt while you're under the influence, your claim is pretty much guaranteed to be denied. Second, high-risk fun. Most basic policies will not cover you if you get hurt riding a scooter, scuba diving, or even skiing. If you're planning any of that stuff, you absolutely have to buy a special adventure sports rider.
And that really brings everything back to the main point, doesn't it? Travel insurance isn't really about protecting your suitcase. It's about protecting your life savings. The whole point isn't to get a few bucks back because your bag was delayed. The point is to stop a medical emergency from turning into a complete financial disaster. So the next time you're booking a trip and that little insurance pop-up shows up, just ask yourself this one simple question. Am I protecting my toothbrush or am I protecting my life savings? Once you answer that, you'll know exactly what you need to buy and all the fluff you can confidently ignore.